As of this morning, Tuesday morning, there have been some absolutely massive developments here in the world of trade negotiations with the Trump administration and other countries. It's been a crazy 6 weeks that we've gone through. A lot of people were doubting Trump, saying he couldn't do it, saying he had no idea what he was doing, saying like, oh, well, just suddenly Trump lost his touch. He just, the economy's crashing and there's nothing he can do to turn it around. They don't understand the art of the deal. They don't understand how this man makes deals, how he handles opposition. And he has been executing this absolutely perfectly. Let's get into a few of the big developments today. But before we do, my name is Clayton Kearns from TrendingPolitics.com. Please make sure to like this video. It helps us out a ton. And subscribe to the channel if you want more videos and updates like this. So let's get into it. The first piece of massive news here today is that Caroline Leavitt just announced here during her press conference that the Trump administration has received 18 trade proposals on paper and that they are going to have trade meetings with 34 countries this week alone. Everyone said, oh my gosh, these trade deals are insane. Trump has no idea what he's doing with tariffs. Well, if Trump had no idea what he's doing with tariffs, why are other countries coming to the table? Why? So let's watch what Caroline Leavitt had to say here.
Spoke to our entire trade team this morning. There is a lot of progress being made. We now have 18 proposals on paper that have been brought to the trade team. Again, these are proposals on paper that countries have proposed to the Trump administration and to our government. You have Secretary Bessent, Secretary Lutnick, Ambassador Greer, NEC Director Hassett, and Peter Navarro, the entire trade team, meeting with 34 countries this week alone. We are moving at Trump speed to ensure these deals are made on behalf of the American worker and the American people. And just yesterday, it seemed to get a little bit lost in the news, and I think it's a disservice to the American public that it did. The Vice President announced terms of reference for a trade deal with India. That is a big deal. We know when we look at the numbers, the monetary trade barriers and the non-monetary trade barriers from India, they have been ripping off the United States and American workers for a very long time. So the fact that the Vice President with Prime Minister Modi on that trip in India announced these terms of reference, which is essentially a framework to move the ball forward to sign a good trade deal between our two nations, is great progress, and it speaks to the work ethic and the real labor that's being put into this effort by the president's trade.
So all of these updates and the media keep saying tariffs don't work. Well, if tariffs don't work and they're so destructive to the American worker and the worker in their respective country, then why do other countries tariff us? And just like Caroline said, isn't it kind of crazy that this news here just was swept under the rug yesterday? But no, the media is distracted by anything else going on in the world, like the whole fake Pete Hegseth controversy with the whole Signal chat, the new hoax that they've created. So check this out. This tweet here from Enche Druth Ultra says, this is a pretty big deal. JD Vance just announced that America and India have officially finalized terms of reference for trade negotiations. Looking at India's economic forecast report, this is a game changer for America. With India's 1.4 billion people and $3.4 trillion economy, we're talking about $130 billion to $180 billion in U.S. exports, 500,000 to 1 million new jobs, from 1 to 2 billion in agriculture, to 10 to 20 billion in defense. This deal will tap directly into India's massive market and directly counters China's influence. This is exactly what I voted for. So people are saying, no, you guys need China, which I'm going to give you a big China update here in a second. But oh no, you guys need China. China has you guys by the throat. No. If you thought that the Trump administration was going to be one-upped, was going to get someone else was going to get the best of them, that wasn't going to happen. Let's listen to our vice president.
Governments are hard at work on a trade agreement built on shared priorities, like creating new jobs, building durable supply chains, and achieving prosperity for our workers. In our meeting yesterday, Prime Minister Modi and I made very good progress on all of those points. And we are especially excited to formally announce that America and India have officially finalized the terms of reference for the trade negotiation. I think this is a vital step. Thank you. I believe this is a vital step toward realizing President Trump's and Prime Minister Modi's vision, because it sets a roadmap toward a final deal between our nations.
So, more good news. You know, everything else that you hear about the Trump administration being in chaos, it's all just noise. It's all noise for the media to distract you. Do you understand that if they don't have the power of propaganda, they don't have anything? If people just saw the raw facts of what has been happening in our country, the progress we've been making, the Trump administration would be so, I mean, the Trump administration is already popular in its own right now, and that's with all the propaganda. But if you stripped away all the propaganda and all the noise, the Trump administration would probably be in the approval rating of the 60s right now. It would be absolutely insane. Now, as I alluded to, there's also good news on the China front as well. Everyone said that, oh, you know, President Trump disrespected China and they take respect very, very seriously, and, you know, we're never going to make a deal with China and they're just going to sit back and watch us struggle. That's not happening either. We're making progress with China too.
I asked the president about this before coming out here, and he wanted me to share with all of you that we're doing very well in respect to a potential trade deal with China. As I mentioned, there have now been 18 proposals in more than 100 countries around the world who are wanting to make a deal with the United States of America, and the president and the administration are setting the stage for a deal with China. So we feel everyone involved wants to see a trade deal happen, and the ball is moving in the right direction.
So read between the lines. This is not like we're sitting here at a standstill with China. Our tariffs and the things that Trump has done over the past few weeks has gotten China's attention. If it didn't, they wouldn't be open to any conversations whatsoever. See, people in the media, they have no idea how anything works. And we've seen that play out over the last few weeks with the illegal immigrant from El Salvador, Kilmar Abrego Garcia. They know nothing about that. They know nothing about the signal chats. And they clearly know nothing about the economy or trade negotiations. But everyone likes to think that they're an expert, but they're not. This is how deals are made. President Trump has sat here and had a lot of resiliency during these last few weeks, and he's not going to cave anytime soon. And another, narrative that has been absolutely destroyed today is on CNBC. The Chevron CEO basically said that we're not in a Trump session. Check it out.
You don't think we're headed into a recession in your plans at this point?
There's no signs that we see at this point that we're in or close to a recession. There are signs that growth may be slowing. And again, we have to always be prepared for that. But ours is a long cycle business. The capital we put to work in our business isn't there for just a few years. It's typically there for decades. So we really have to take a longer view and not get buffeted too much by short term.
So at the end of the day, when you have the CEO of one of the biggest corporations in America saying that we don't see signs that we are in or even close to a recession, it reaffirms the fact that the media just like to spin propaganda and that they just like to drum up the fear in the United States. You see, the media doesn't want the economy to succeed under President Trump. They do not want America to succeed when someone is in office who is not their guy. When Joe Biden was president, they wanted America to succeed because they want to be able to feel like, hey, this is our guy. But when Trump is in office, they want the complete opposite. They don't care about the economy. They don't care about jobs. They just care about their ratings and money, which comes from fear. And so at the end of the day, we're not in a recession. If you just looked at the liberal side of Twitter, you would think that literally the sky is falling. But that's not what's happening. And so at the end of the day, huge progress is being made on the trade front. President Trump is winning, but he is not winning in the way that people think that the winning should happen, okay? At the end of the day, these people do not understand what it takes to be a resilient leader of the United States, and Trump is being a great example of what it looks like. So if you like this video, if you support President Trump in this trade negotiation situation, Leave a comment below and like this video, and I'll be talking to you in the next video. Talk soon.